green is basically using sustainable practices. The idea is to use fewer resources, the way they're used, by the way they're made, by the fact that they can be reused or recycled.
Sustainability is a really broad term. Recycling is a huge part of that, and recycling and energy are like this. You cannot separate them. The more you recycle, the less energy you're spending to process your waste.
The idea is to get more living from the same amount or less resources.
When you get your energy from the sun, you're essentially using a resource that doesn't go away. We have a commitment to cleaning up our air, making it a healthier place for people to live, and also to saving dollars, because anything that you can take off of what you're buying from a fossil fuel source and using a renewable resource is ultimately going to save the bottom line in utility bills too.
Most people have seen solar panels mounted on roofs or mounted on the ground. These panels convert sunlight to electricity. They're wired together to increase the amount of usable power from that. And there are other devices that convert the power to the same kind of power that we use in buildings and the like.
The Department of Energy wanted to encourage people to use solar power, even though it's not a mandate. They were looking for locales who would volunteer basically through the process of writing a grant saying why they wanted to become a solar city, to start tackling solar from a real comprehensive perspective. Essentially the grant was really small, it was $200,000. We were able to train almost 2,000 local contractors in how to install solar, and this is new technology for them. The city was invested in training the contractors and working on the zoning and updating our codes to allow easy installs. And then in doing the few installs that we did with that grant, which is the Transit Center solar system, also a Knox Heritage green roof, which is essentially a roof that is a solar panel in and of itself, so you don't see the solar panels. And just those demonstration and the leverage that we got with our partners made this sort of drop in a bucket turn into this huge ripple effect.
The solar installers are all very up to date on things such as incentives and premiums paid by utilities and other kinds of things that reduce the capital cost. The project we're working on here is a solar system for East Tennessee PBS. The solar panels will power themselves with the sun for a very long time.
They say the average life of is 35 to 40 years, and really that's an unknown.
The expected life of solar panels is almost uniformly more than 40 years.
Hopefully that it'll last forever.
The panels themselves collect the sunlight and convert it to direct current power, like a flashlight battery. That power then goes through power conditioning equipment that's typically mounted on the outside of the building that changes it to alternating current and converts it into a power level that is suitable to run regular lights and appliances. The electricity produced by this system won't be used in the building itself. The reason for that is not that it couldn't be, but that TVA will pay an extra amount for it above and beyond its the cost of powers. They call that their Generation Partners program, and it's one that individuals and businesses and organizations should look into. That electricity will, in this project, not be used internally in the building, but will be sold to TVA, and that will reduce the amount of fossil fuel generated power that TVA has to produce. TVA pays a premium for this, and that premium will come to East Tennessee PBS and reduce the cost of overall power that the station has to pay. So that will be a benefit for many years. Solar systems last a long time. Solar is almost always a financial decision too, because the capital cost typically is quite high.
So when we do any initiative in the sustainability realm, what we look at is the return on investment, and we look at things not only from a health perspective and a social perspective and an environmental perspective, but that dollars and cents is how we make decisions.
I feel like that we're doing our part in trying to be cost savings, trying to use our money wisely.
The finances will often determine whether there will be a solar system or not. Solar systems are sized by the number of kilowatts that they produce. It's comparable to horsepower in a car. In a solar system, it's kilowatt hours per year typically. This system here produces 37 kilowatts. Now that's enough to power about just under 4 homes for a year. We are limited typically by the size of the surface available. We are mainly covering the entire roof of East Tennessee PBS.
We go by the amount of solar energy that we generate, and that is put back into a fund that pays for the equipment. It was really no additional cost to the station. That was all funded through the grant. At the end of a 10-year period, it all becomes the station's. This is using those funds very diligently to try to achieve less cost as well as less footprints in the environment. These panels are really generating a lot of solar sun power, and we've seen a significant cost savings.
We view solar not only as a good thing to do, but as an incredible, huge, viable economic generator in our area. As the market has increased, we've seen a dramatic drop in price. So the technology and the dollars are actually aligning now. So I only see solar increasing.
I do not talk to any solar installers or others involved in solar who are not extremely optimistic.
Solar has done nothing but grow. It's become a very viable market, not just for the Knoxville area, but for the entire state of Tennessee.